Good morning, CBC1501. Today's class, we're going to be doing a few things. So first of all, we're going to start with the feedback for assignment 4, and then we'll talk a bit about assignment 5. Before we start with the class, I would just love to bring to your attention, as you do know that the assignment was due yesterday on the 25th of April. Please kindly note that the assignment portal is still very much open and it will be closed on Friday, meaning that your new submission date for assignment 5 is going to be on the 24th of April, 2023. So, as I've mentioned before, that in today's class, we'll focus on the feedback for assignment 4, and we'll also go through assignment 5, which should be submitted by the 28th of April, 2023, which is this coming Friday. Please do note that we are not going to accept any late submissions. We will not even give an extension. All the typed assignments need to be submitted as a single file. You combine it as a single file and save it as a PDF, and then you submit it. Before submission, always make sure that your assignment, it is not password protected, because we will not be able to open it and therefore will not be able to mark it, meaning that you will lose marks. You need to make sure that you save your file correctly to avoid the file being corrupted. Most of assignments that we've received, we received that the files were corrupted. This is due to the fact that students do not save their files correctly. Technical presentation. We have stressed so much about technical presentation. We have spoken about technical presentation over and over. Each and every class that we have hosted, we have touched bases on technical presentation. All the material that we've provided for you as a student, there is technical presentation notes there that you need to take into consideration. So what happens is that most of you do not read the instructions, and you do not even follow the instructions that are being set out to you. That is problem number 1. That is why when you submit your work does not meet the university requirements. That is number 1. Number 2, submitting late submission. You wait for the 11th hour to begin your assignment. That's why you miss all the important things. That's why you miss all the important announcements, all the important instructions that are there for you. Also, the low attendance of class. Remember, we're not having these classes for entertainment, but we're having these classes to help you in your journey to obtaining your degree. We're having these classes to make the syllabus a bit shorter and to lighten the syllabus. By this, I mean that we have these classes to be able to clarify everything that needs to be clarified for you. That is the reason why we have these classes. These classes are mainly there to help you progress so that at the end of the year or at the end of the term, every student has passed, and then you move on with your education. So, as I've said, we're going to start with the feedback for assignment 4, whereby I will take you through the assignment 4. We'll do the rubric that was set. I will try and explain it so that you understand it again. And then we will go in and give a thorough feedback to the questions that were asked in assignment 4, and then we will touch a bit of basis on our assignment 5. Assignment 4, first and foremost, due date, very important. You look at the due date, you receive all your material before you start with your lessons. Once you receive your material, peruse through your material. Look at your material, due date, very important. Note it down in your calendar as a reminder on your phone that you need to start with the work as soon as possible. The total mark of the total weighing was 15. The total mark was 70. We have also set out the units that you need to study. So you need to study all the units for each and every assignment. Remember, for each and every assignment, we do not only focus on certain units, but we focus on unit 1 to unit 11, meaning that all the learning units. The instructions, material, and resources are also there on my UNISA. You need to peruse them. You need to download the instructional material and the resources on my UNISA. You need to study that before you can even attempt to start with your assignment. As we have stated that the assignment is compulsory, if you do not have a signed declaration form, your assessment will receive 0%. I will say this again. Even the next coming assessment, if you do not have a signed declaration form, your assignment will be marked, but you will not have a mark to it. We'll just put comments for you, go through what you've written, but you will not get a mark for that. So immediately on the first page of your assignment, there is a rubric that we have set out for you. The rubric contains mark allocations. The mark allocations, we have question 1, which was the essay. We had the memorandum as question 2, the outline of a talk, which is question 3. We had answers to 5 questions, which is the self-assessment and self-reflection that each and every student you need to complete that after you have completed your assignment. The essay was out of 25. The 25 mark, the reason why we have a rubric set out is so that it can act as a guidance to how you're going to be answering or completing your assignment. The essay was out of 25. If an essay, the mark says it's out of 25, it means that you can't be writing 5 pages for 25 marks. 1.5 page, 2 pages, you look at the word count as well, your 25 marks should come from there. Question 2 was the memorandum, which counted 15 marks. We had the outline of a talk, question 3, which was also 15 marks. The self-assessment and self-reflection that so many people do not do, but you need to do. It's only 5 questions that you need to answer that are going to be a self-reflection. You do an assessment on yourself of how you understood the assignment that you have been completing. You get a free 5 marks for that. The overall technical presentation, which is your declaration, your signed declaration by you and the witness, the table of contents with corresponding correct numbers. Also, the right labeling to your themes should make your table of contents. The overall introduction meaning you introduce what is CBC 1501 and the assignment that you're going to be doing. You introduce your essay, you tell us you're going to have a memorandum. What is the memorandum about? You also tell us about the outline of your talk within the introduction. You do not answer the questions, but basically what you do is just give us a heads up that this is what you are going to encounter when you mark my assignment. Overall conclusion is where you've now linked up all your ideas. This is now where you conclude. Will you give us a short summary, a brief summary to say that this is the results that you have achieved in that assignment. You give me a correct declaration, a signed declaration, you give me a correct table of contents, correct corresponding numbers, you give me a correct overall introduction, and the overall conclusion. You score yourself a 10. All of these will come up to 70. Assignment 1, it consisted of paragraph or essay type questions. These you needed to type. There are general rules relating to the overall presentation of the assignment that a student needs to adhere to. I will just mention a few, which is your presentation should not contain language, spelling, or typing errors, personal types of address, unless otherwise stated. The headings and the numbering we require should be represented in the correct format. We've spoken about the first, we've spoken about the subheading, we've spoken about the third heading, how you number them, and which font you use. Failure to follow these guidelines will result in a loss of marks. If you do not submit the declaration, as I have said, a signed one or an incomplete one, you will receive 0% for your assignment. This document, it should be a PDF. The links and embedded documents will be dead here. However, as an MS Word found on my UNISA, they will be live, right? We're talking about the declaration. And then the nice thing is that we have also copied and pasted the declaration on your assignment questions. So you need to do that. The correct compilation of the sequence of assignment, we told you how we want you to compile the assignment. The cover page, then comes declaration of your own work, and then table of contents, introduction, body of assignment, which is answers to the assignment questions, the conclusion, answers to the self-assessment and reflection questions, and the list of sources consulted, right? Overall, technical presentation, 10 marks that you're going to be scoring yourself. So those are just a few things that you had to do for the past assignment. And you have said that once you've done this assignment, then you qualify for the examination. Question 1, essay writing. Essay writing, you had a scenario there that you had to read. The essay writing was out of 25. From that scenario that you have read, the instructions was that you need to plan and write a 500 to 600 word a descriptive essay on the ethical challenges in the workplace, using the scenario as a backdrop for your discussion, right? You had to brainstorm and plan. Give us a mind map of how you're going to execute your essay. Give us ideas, write your ideas down in a mind map form to show us how you have structured your essay. That had to accompany your essay. It had to be the first page before you can begin with your essay. We needed you to give us an appropriate introduction. Define ethical workplace behavior. Discuss the 4 elements of ethical workplace behavior and discuss ethical workplace messages. You had to integrate your discussion with examples of ethical or unethical workplace behavior in 1 or 2 organizations, right? And then once you have done that, you had to end with an appropriate conclusion to your essay. The mark allocation gives you an indication of what is expected of you within the essay and do not indicate section breaks within the essay, right? That is all that you had to do. You need to also provide theory and provide practical examples of that theory, practical examples that back up the theory that you have provided. That is all that you had to do. And that is all that you had to do. There is really, I don't see any difficulty in doing this because the guidelines are there for you. The, what is this? The guidelines are there for you. The instructions that you had to follow are there for you in black and white. The correct referencing techniques need to be used. In-text referencing need to be used. All sources consulted are stated in the list of sources consulted, including your tutorial letters. You need to list it as your source that you have consulted, the study guide, the prescribed book, and all additional resources that you've used. And then once we were done with it, now you had to do your, once you're done with your essay, it will basically tell you what needs to happen, right? Okay, we have somebody. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to, I don't know what's going on. Is it a technical glitch? Okay, that's that. So, okay. Now, let us talk about the rubric. I don't know where. Okay, it's fine. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about the rubric. The rubric, mark allocation for question 1, which is your SN. You had to find a title, short title. You're planning your brainstorming. You get 2 marks for that. The grammar in language, spelling, articulation, tense, punctuation, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone, logical, all of that was going to give you 5 marks. The content is made of the introduction, including thesis statement and overview of the content, 2 marks. Theory, ethics, fairness, character, integrity, morals, etc. That was going to give you 8. Application of that theory, 3. Conclusion to the whole essay, you were going to get a 2. The citations and referencing, you would get a 3. All of this goes to a total of 25. It goes to a total of 25. It goes to a total of 25. And then we go to your memorandum. Your memorandum, you had to have a header, name of the organization, the to, the fro, the subs, the date. The alignment has to be correct as well. For that, we're going to get 5. Your spelling, that grammar and language, we also give 5 for that. We look at the tense structure, the punctuation, marks, how they're used. You get a 5. The content, which is information about concerns, information about future claims, that was going to give you 2.5, 2.5 each. Total is equals to 15. Mark allocation for the business letter, the format, and remember, each and every assignment or question that we have, we would look at the format and the layout. How do you use the format and the layout? The grammar and the language, content, we give marks for that. Business letter as well is out of 15, as I have mentioned. And then there's a mark also for the self-assessment, as I have already said to you. The mark for self-assessment. There's a student who wants to come in, but I don't know what's going on. Okay. So let's now get into what we're here for. Okay. We gave you an assignment, which is assessment 4, which was out of 70. That 70 comprised of 3 questions, which is the essay, the memorandum, and the business letter. All of these go up to 55. The remaining 15 mark, the 5 was coming from the self-assessment and self-reflection. The 10 was coming from the overall technical presentation. That makes it 70. So first thing first, right? Technical presentation. You need to ensure that assignment complies with the departmental requirements for the technical presentation of assignments. We as the Department of Communication Science have specific formatting guidelines which we want students to adhere to precisely at all times. So these guidelines, you need to read your tutorial letter 301. Right? If you do not go through your 301, you will not understand the technical presentation. Technical presentation, once again, comprises of the following: the declaration, which is the most important, because if you do not have a declaration, no matter how hard you worked on your assignment, Sorry about that. No matter how much you've worked on your assignment, you will receive a 0. Table of contents. Table of contents must always correspond with the numbering, headings, and subheading in the assignment. The correct page numbers need to be supplied at all times. Table of contents, you're going to get 4. Sorry about that. We're now breaking down the technical presentation and how we give marks. The overall introduction. An introduction to the overall assignment must be included. It should begin with a short description of business communication, which is CBC 1501, and should end with a clear reference to what will be discussed in the assignment. Talk about the essay, give a brief introduction to your essay, to your memorandum. This will consist of a short description of the assignment questions without writing down the actual questions, as well as of the self-assessment and self-reflection questions. The introduction should not be longer than 1 paragraph and should be written in a formal tone, right? I hope that is well understood. Overall conclusion. It is a conclusion of the assignment which must be included. It should comprise a short summary of what has been discussed in the assignment. You do not need to introduce any new information here that you did not introduce in your introduction. Your introduction and your conclusion should be aligned. So you need to summarize all that has been done in your assignment. The conclusion, again, should not be longer than 1 paragraph and should be written in a formal tone, which is going to count 3 marks towards your technical presentation. Now, we get to the serious business. Personal declaration of your own work. Personal declaration of your own work. I will go through it again. It needs to be it needs to be signed by both you and the witness. Typed signatures are also accepted. What is typed signatures? Writing your initials and your surname. It is okay, right? If you do not submit the declaration or it was incomplete or not signed, you'll receive a 0%. However, we will mark the assignment in full, provide feedback, and attach the rubric with marks allocated for each question, and a comment about why the mark on the system is 0%. Basically, what this means is that when you get your assignment, you will see that on the paper, the script has been marked. You have been given probably 70%. But when you check on the system says that you got a 0. You got a 0 because why? There was no declaration. So do not confuse the two. Table of contents. We've spoken, it was out of 4, right? You need to take note of the heading presentation. In brackets, bold capital letters and numbering, in the inclusion of page numbers. The headings, the numbers, and the page numbers used in the table of contents must correspond with the information contained in the assignment. For example, if you say that business letter is on page 6, when we go to page 6, that is where we need to find our business letter. We should not go to page 1 to get our business letter, but when we go to the table of contents, it says our business letter is on page number 2. And that is what we mean. First level headings need to be in capital letters and bold. I repeat, first letter headings, meaning your theme for question 1 for the assignment. It needs to be first level headings, which are in capital letters and are bold. The second level heading, which can be your subheading, it should be in lowercase and bold. The third level headings, they need to be in lowercase and italic. First level headings, capital letters and bold. Second level headings, lowercase, bold. Third level, lowercase, bold, and italic. That is how we differentiate. So what is it that we wanted or we expected from your introduction? Students should have included an overall assignment introduction before they start to answer the individual assignment questions. You are not required to provide a separate introduction for each individual assignment question unless expressly stated, such as in the essay, for example. Ideally, the introduction should introduce the subject of business communication and the assignment as a whole and allude to the content or topic of the individual assignment questions. One paragraph of writing would have been sufficient, and you would have gotten an impressive mark of up to 3. Conclusion. Students should have included an overall conclusion at the end of the assignment. They do not have to provide a separate conclusion for each individual assignment question, meaning you do not have to have a separate conclusion for question 1, 2, 3, right? The conclusion should run of the assignment as a whole and provide a short summary, main points mentioned of the content topic of the individual assignment questions. So your conclusion had to include question 1, 2, and 3. You do not have to have a conclusion for each and every question, right? And then we are going to be moving to our question 1, right? We're going to be moving on to the change. We're going to be moving on to the welcome, Nontlantla. We're going to be, I've already started with the class. It's recording. It's been 13 minutes now. Mahlatsi, please, your mic. Okay, it's fine. So I've already started, but I'm not far within. I've also recorded the class. So once we're done here, you can just go back and listen. So we are doing the feedback on assignment 4. I'm going through it step by step. And then after that, we will quickly talk about assignment 5 with the hope that we are going to have time. So essay writing, which was your question 1 out of 25, right? What you had to do here was that you had to come up with a title. You had to have an introduction, which included a thesis statement and an overview of content, right? In this question, you also had to come up with a theory, definition of ethical behavior in the workplace, also the 4 elements of ethical behavior, ethical messages in the workplace. You also had to come up or use 1 or 2 organizations as examples of ethical or unethical workplace behavior to substantiate the theory. Your conclusion had to round off arguments. You had to have in-text referencing and the list of sources consulted, right? That is all that you had to do for your question 1. Welcome, Lesohonono, for your question 1. So, let us now look at the breakdown of the mark allocation for question 1, right? Criterion 1, format and layout. Students had to provide an appropriate heading. You come up with your own heading after reading the scenario, right? A heading that is appropriate for question 1. Come up with a topic, and then you write your topic. Remember that the heading is for the essay that reflects the topic and or their position on ethical challenges in the workplace. So the heading had to be in the correct heading format for a first level header. If we remember what we said, the class that I had last, I spoke to you about technical presentation, and I said first level header, it needs to be capital letters and it needs to be in bold. So your second level, it has to be in lower letters in bold, right? And then your third, it should be in lower letters, bold, and italic. That is how we differentiate between them. So it's very, very important for you to be able to differentiate. So essay writing, as we all know, it requires a thought process. That is why we ask that you need to brainstorm and do a planning in writing, right? To show us how you have thought about your essay critically and how you have planned to execute your essay. There was no specific method that was required, but you had to provide evidence of the brainstorming and planning in writing that is logical and identifies the main ideas or concepts, right? So what we needed firstly was for you to just give us your mind map that you have drawn. That okay, in the middle you'll write the theme for your essay, and then theory, the four aspects, the example of two organizations for that, and then you just get a mark for it. Right? So we all know that an essay will begin with a topic, ethical communication in the workplace. For example, that is our title. That is our title. It should be in capital letters. It should be bold. No underlining is required or necessary. You do not underline anything in your work, right? And then the first paragraph or 3 lines will therefore need to be the introduction, right? And then the body, which is the content, it had to be related to the aspects of relevant, the aspects had to be relevant, the aspects of ethical communication, right? So that is your body. Once you were done with your body, you had to go to a conclusion. Again, 3 lines or a paragraph to sum up everything that you've written about. You do not need to introduce a new idea in your conclusion, because this is the conclusion is mainly the closing of an assignment. So if you introduce something new, it now seems like you're going, that's an introduction, right? Because introduction is where we introduce every idea that we're going to be speaking about within the assignment, right? And then we were also given 5 marks for the fluency and grammatically correct writing. Then this means that your spelling has to be correct. This means that your punctuation marks should be used rightly. The formal tone and writing should ideally reflect your excellent spelling, and there should not be punctuation errors, right? Paragraphs should flow logically and coherently. So that is where the planning comes in. Once you plan, if you can plan how you're going to execute your essay, then trust you me, your paragraphs are going to flow. Your paragraphs are going to flow, and it's just going to be an honor reading or marking such a paper, right? So you had to begin your essay with a clear introduction, right? This introduction had to outline ethical challenges in the workplace, right? The thesis statement had to be included in the introduction, right? So you're telling us about the thesis statement, how you're going to tackle that. The organization, you introduce your organization as well in the introduction. You tell us that this is the thesis statement. You write your thesis statement, and then you say, the organization that I'm going to use as my examples to back up the theory that I have will be the University of South Africa and the University of Johannesburg, for example, right? You get an impressive 2 marks for that. And then in the body of the essay, you want to see a discussion of the following aspects, which must be integrated coherently. Firstly, all of this that I'm saying, it's within the instructions. If you read your instructions, you take time to read them and understand them, you would have gotten this correct. The body, you start with a definition of what ethics and ethical behavior entails, right? You make special references to how ethics is experienced in the workplace. You had to refer to your Learning Unit 1, which is page 56 to 62, and Learning Unit 11, which is page 210 and 224. Don't worry about all of this. You are going to be getting your tutorial letter 201. It will contain all this. Students, you had to display a clear grasp of any 4 elements of ethical behavior in the workplace, right? Such as honesty, sincerity, fairness, character, integrity, morals, right? Any other acceptable elements should be marked correct as student did wide research. And then the application, you had to apply your knowledge of these ethics by referring to the following aspects in any 1 or 2 real or hypothetical organizations of your choice. So how does UNISA use their power? Is UNISA honest? The conflict of interest, overpricing, is UNISA pricing is too high than other regular universities? Causing harm, is it causing harm? Accountability, do they take accountability of their own actions? If you write an email to a lecturer saying that Moodle was down, Moodle was not working, with all the proof that you have, are they going to be taking up accountability for that? Even though lecturers are not in charge of Moodle, but do they go beyond, to try and find, resort your problem, right? So those are the things that you had to do when you were writing your essay. So last but not least on your essay writing, the conclusion. We've spoken about the conclusion, that in the conclusion, you do not need to introduce anything. But basically what you're doing, you're just summing up everything that you've written, right? You will talk about your organization in your conclusion. You will talk basically what you wrote in the body of your essay or your assignment. That is what you need to conclude on. Sorry about that. That is basically what you need to be concluding on, right? And then citations. Students, you had to reference three to five sources in text and in the list of sources consulted, right? So if you have in text and the in text source does not appear in your consulted, you will not get any mark for that. Whatever that you have in text, the source that you've written in your in text should also be visible in the sources, the list of sources consulted, right? And that list of sources consulted should appear at the end of your assignment, right? Good. And then the minimum sources that you had to include in the list of sources, it was your study guide, which is tutorial letter 501. It was the tutorial letter 301, which mainly talks about technical presentation and all of that, and any online resources that we have posted for you. Any other additional resources also was accepted, right? And then we are going to now move on to penalization. We penalize you if there was no heading or numbering, right? We penalize you if you did not do the correct paraphrasing or in-text referencing, quotations that exceed 10% of your work, or verbatim copying of text from the source. Penalization is only up to a maximum of 2 marks, right? Question 2, memorandum. Students had to assume the role of an accountant for Tshwane Municipality and write an official memorandum. That is what you had to do. So the mark allocation. Remember, I said for each and every question, we look at the format and the layout, we look at the grammar and the language, we look at the content, and then we give marks accordingly. Why did we give you guys rubrics? We showed you rubrics so that the mark that is reflecting there should be a guide to how every student needs to answer their questions. For example, again, the essay was out of 25. If the essay was out of 25, it literally means that you can't write 5 pages. That's why we said word count of 500 to 600. Then the 25 will come from there. If we say it's 25, and then you go on and write, what is this? You write an essay of about 5 pages. It's not really necessary, right? It was not really necessary for you to do that. So the format and the layout, the headings had to be the headings had to appear at no, sorry. The headings had to be structured as per department requirements as stipulated in 301. Remember, I said that 301 is where you'll find your technical presentation, how we expect your work to look, how we expect your work to be structured. It's not individually so, but as the university, that is the university criteria. So that is all in page 301. That is all in tutorial letter 301. If you go through your tutorial letters, then you'll be able to know what is it that we expect from you as the university, right? So, the memorandum, the name of the company should appear at the very top of the page. The word memorandum or memo should appear below the name of the company. So you will write University of South Africa at the top, very, very top of the page. And then it should be in bold and capital letters. And then the word memorandum or memo should come after University of South Africa or whatever Tshwane municipality or whatever company that is, right? And then you will have your tool, and then you will fill it in, the date, you will fill it in as well. And then there is no memo that does not have a subject. Each and every memo had to be accompanied by a subject. So you write your subject after the to and the from, right? That is basically what you need to do. Let me just admit one person. Okay. Please bear with me for a minute. Okay, I think it will admit. So, yes. And then that is all that you had to do as far as your memo is concerned. If you didn't know how to do a memo, you could have just Googled, it will show you. And I think we also have an example of the expected layout, how it should follow and all of that. And then I've spoken about the fluency and the grammar that needs to be correct. You will get 5 marks for that. You need to proofread your work, your sentence construction. Does your sentences flow? Do your sentences even make sense? Those are the most important things that you need to take into consideration when you are submitting your work, right? And then we move on to the last, what is this? We move on to the last question, which was business letter, right? Okay, let me just do this. Pause mic is on. Let me just mute your mic. Okay. And then the business letter. Business letter was out of 15 marks, right? For question 3, all that you had to do was to write a motivational letter, which was a business letter for a job application, right? And we gave out strict and clear instructions that in the letter you need to say that no CV or copies of degree are required, right? Please hold on a minute. Thank you so much. I just had to do something quickly. So yes, so you just had to do a simple business letter, right? So what you had to do here was that like I said, basically, we're looking for the same thing um in all of the assignments that we have, your format, your layout, your grammar, and your language, your content, right? So the content of it is going to be different. The format and the layout will also be different, right? Grammar and language, I can't say it's going to be different because we're using a formal tone, unless otherwise stated that then you should not use what is this? That you should not use a formal tone, right? So you had to do that. This one, it wanted you to use assertive tone when you write that. So the criterion one for format and layout, student had to present the letter in the UK block format and had to pay attention to the following aspects as shown in the template that follows. Addresses and alignment. Alignment is very important, guys. Most of your assignments are not aligned. Sentences are just flowing, sentences are just flowing like a merry-go-round. We don't know what's going on because it does not even look formal. It does not even look good, or the presentation is not even good. So if you align everything is aligned, it looks so neat and it gives joy for one to read and to want to know what the student thinks, her thoughts or his thoughts, right? So we need to align each and everything. So addresses and alignment, the date, the subject, the sign off, right? So there's also how you need to do your there was a suggested template that you had to use, right? This is also available to you. So that is basically all that you had to do. And then once you're done, you just had to close off the letter appropriately. And then you get a 1 mark for that. Students had to be assertive in their tone, not aggressive or passive, right? Aggressive, meaning that I have all the skills required and you must hire me as I am the best candidate. We do not want aggression. Example of passive. I do not have much experience, but I'm trying to volunteer in different places, even though I am not good at what I do. Also, we did not want that. That is not what we wanted. Assertive. I have all the required skills stated in the advertisement, as well as the relevant experience gained from multiple volunteering jobs, right? Full stop. I am keen to apply my skills and knowledge in your organization. Full stop. That is assertive. That is the tone that we needed in that business letter, right? So, self-assessment and self-reflection questions, very, very important, yet most people do not even attempt to do it. I don't know why they don't do it or what is going on, but that is what had to happen. Guys, I'm so sorry, I'm working from the office. Please hold on. Okay. So that is basically what you had to do or what you needed to do, right? And then your self-assessment. Self-assessment after doing your assignment, after you've completed your assignment. Welcome everybody. Like you're just joining at the 11th hour. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you're in the right class. This class is for CBC 1501. feedback on assignment 4. Okay. I hope everybody's here for the same thing. So self-assessment and self-reflection questions, these questions, you will answer them each and every time you are doing an assignment, right? It's just to go back and test what is it that you have learned, right? By doing this assignment. You have learned how to compile a business letter. You have learned how to write an essay and that you need to do some planning, right? Example, you can say that. What are the skills and abilities and orientations that you have acquired, right? Which strength could you apply in future life and work environment, right? You answer all 5 questions that are being asked for: self-assessment and self-reflection questions. And no doubt about it, you're going to get a 5. You're going to get a 5. How is that 5 broken down, right? You can get these under section 2.2 of tutorial letter 101. This is how it's broken down: format and layout, alignment, numbering, headings, right? Remember, those are 5 questions. So when you answer them, you will need to write number 1, full stop, and then answer the question. So you get 1 mark for that. Grammar and language, the spelling, articulation, tense, punctuation use, sentence structure, and the formal tone, you get 1. So for answering the questions 1 to 5, it means that it's 3 marks. So when we add them up all together, it means that we are going to be getting a total of 5. Okay. Let's pause a bit. I need to ask a question. Anybody who okay, no, you know what happened? Thank you for asking as well, because I was about to ask now, why is everybody coming now? Oh, guys, so sorry. What happened was that I started the class a bit earlier, 12. I had 2 classes set for 12 to 1 and 1 to 2. So what had happened was that my Teams is not working. So immediately when it said you have class at 12, that's why I came in. Luziko, Haibo, for what? That is very rude. You need to learn to speak to people. You don't just come in and say Haibo. You need to write what you want to say, because I'm your lecturer. If you feel that you would like us to start from scratch, I don't have a problem. I can start the class at 1. We can start where we left off, or we can start from the scratch. It is not a problem. So all that you need to do is just have a bit of respect for yourself, for me, and for the fellow students, and say that, ma'am, we only got the one for 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Is it possible if we can start from the beginning? I don't think that's a problem. I really don't think that's a problem. It's not like I'm your peer or we're friends to come in and say hi, boo. You didn't even greet anybody. Anyway, let me not let you ruin everybody's time and everything. Okay. Seeing that there was a miscommunication, and then we have already. Yes, Carl, we do have the recording, but like I have said, I really do not mind starting again, because it was quite boring to start at first. I was alone at first, and then Nonhlanhla and Lekhono joined, I think, 20 minutes later on. So let's give it a vote then, right? Let's give it a vote. Are we continuing? Because I wanted to start with assignment 5. And then because the one that I've already done, it was only the feedback on assignment 4, and the class is being recorded. So I do believe that you can just go back and listen to the recorded feedback version. Can we continue with assignment 5? Which is due. Can we touch bases on that? And then later on, we can go back and listen to the feedback, because it was just feedback on assignment 4. Thank you so much, Kyle. Can I get somebody to second Kyle's comment that we should start from assignment 5. Thank you, Senzekile. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let me start off by just thank you, Olisedi. Let me just start by apologizing that we had the class started a bit earlier. It was because of the confusion that happened. So this is going to be a long recording. We have already started, but the only things that I've touched bases on, it was the feedback for assignment 4, that I believe that some of you already got their marks or you're still in the process of getting your marks, right? So now we're going to concentrate on assignment 5. So basically what is happening is that, as you all know, assignment 5 was due yesterday on the 25th of April. However, the portal is still open for you to submit, and the portal will close on Friday, which is the 28th of April. So you can still submit your assignment, right? It's only going to be closed on the 28th of April. And then okay, somebody's mic is on. Can you kindly switch it off? Can you kindly mute yourself? Thank you so much. So yes, assignment 5 due date was the 25th of April, but we have opened the portal. The portal will only be closed on the 28th of April, which is on Friday. So I'm going to appeal to everybody to please make sure that you submit, because this time we'll not be able to have an extension as we did with other assignment due to the fact that examination is starting for UNISA. We are starting with our exams. So we need to now just finish everything. If we keep on opening the portal, then we will not be able to reach our goal, right? Okay, no problem. So I think I must share my screen. Let me just get my things in order. Okay. You know, students, if there's one thing that you need to learn to read. Assignment 4 marks are going to come out. The university, after the closing date, you have 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks to mark everybody's assignment. So if the 3 weeks elapses and you haven't gotten your assignment, that's when you can come and start complaining, right? So please just give us time, that your marks will be out before the 3-week elapses. I think that is what we wrote everywhere. Is that okay, Simon? Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. By a show of hand, can somebody just show me that you can see my screen? Thank you so much, Naidu. Okay, so assessment 5. As I have said, it is now due this Friday, right? Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Naidu, you can lower your hand. Thank you so much. So the total mark for assignment 5 is 75. I think we're all aware of that. So all the learning units, you need to read them from learning unit 1 to learning unit 11. Instructional material is very important before you even attempt doing your assignment, right? So okay, there's still people that are coming in the lobby. So let me just do this. Somebody's hand is up. Is it a historical hand? Panache? Panache, do you want to say something? Let me unmute you then. Oh, it's a historical hand. Oh, okay, no problem. Yes. So as I was saying, you need to go through your tutorial test 301. If you have started and you went through it, then all the assignment that you need to write will not really be a problem for you to submit. on time. So what you do is that you take your time in submitting assignments or starting your assignments. That is what is causing the delay, and that is what is causing you panic. You end up submitting files that are not correct, that are not saved correct. You end up submitting files that are password protected, or files that have not been saved correctly, and then the file will be corrupted, and then we can't mark your assignment. That is just the heartbreaking part to it all. All right, so this assignment, there is no resubmission. You submit it once. You must make sure that the assignment that you have completed is final and complete, not password protected, and it is a single file and saved as a PDF file, right? So this has to be a PDF file. Everything should be saved under one file, because you cannot submit different files or more than one file, right?
Okay. Hey, nice. Good, how are you?
Hello, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So the mark allocation for assignment file. Question 1 is going to be the abridged report, which is out of 35. Question 2, it will be the outline of a talk, which is out of 25. And then you will have a short paragraph, which is out of 5. The short paragraph is going to be on the self-assessment and self-reflection. Those of you who have submitted assignment 4, you know what we talk about when we talk about self-assessment and self-reflection. And then the overall technical presentation, which is out of 10, declaration, table of contents, overall introduction, and overall conclusion, right? This time around, we need to get the overall technical presentation correct so that everybody can get a 10, right? We can't be making corrections on technical presentation each and every time. So your assignment format. Assignment 5 consists of long questions that require written responses. Ne? So you need, the university is encouraging us to type and not write, but to type our assignments. For those who don't have laptops, computers, the UNISA hubs that are open, student centers that you can walk into and type your work, right? So all the general rules that are found in Tutorial Letter 301, you need to adhere to the rules that are there, right? Your presentation should not contain language, spelling, or typing errors. This will result in you being penalized. That is 2 marks maximum, right? The headings and your numberings need to be correct. Remember what we said. The first heading needs to be capital letters in bold. The second heading needs to be in lowercase in bold. The third heading needs to be in lower letters. It needs to be in bold, and it needs to be italic, right? I hope we all understood that. The first, the second, the third, the first, bold, capital letters. That's the first heading. Second heading should be in lowercase. It should be bold. Third heading should be lowercase, bold, and italic, right? And then you need to have the correct numbering for your headings. You must adhere to the correct format structure, stylistic requirements of each writing, right? Failure to follow these results or these guidelines will result in the loss of marks. So first and foremost, if you submit, it does not matter how perfect your assignment is, for as long as the assignment does not have a declaration that is signed by you and your witness, signed, you can type sign it, or you can use an electronical signature. When we say type signature, we mean that your initials and your name, also initials and surname of your witness, should be on the declaration. If you do not have a declaration, we will mark your assignment. We will put the mark on your assignment. However, the mark will not appear on the system, because any declaration that is not attached or unsigned by yourself or a witness will automatically receive 0%, right? So the declaration is very important. You need to have a declaration at all time to say that this is your own work, so that if we find that you have plagiarized somebody, but you have signed that policy of research ethics, then we can take you for disciplinary hearing, right? This is just for integrity. We need to practice integrity. So compilation and sequence of assignment 5. We had this for assignment 4. A lot of you did it, some of you didn't do it. I do not know why, but this is very important. It also makes marking very smooth. You firstly need to have your cover page, right? You need to have a cover page. You need to have a declaration that is signed by you and your witness. The date should also be there. You need to have a correct table of contents that have correct page numbers, right? Don't say that the body of your assignment is going to be on page 5, only to find it in page 6. So everything should work hand in hand. After the table of contents should be your overall introduction, whereby you introduce the whole assignment. And then after that should be followed by the body of your assignment, where you answer the assignment questions. And in the overall conclusion, after you've done with your overall conclusion, then you need to answer the self-assessment and the reflection questions, that is out of 5 that we've spoken about. And then last but not least, it should be the list of sources consulted. Every source that you in-text reference should also appear on the list of sources consulted. Hi, I'm back. I'm working from the office, so it looks like we're starting to have a bit of network problems. Can I just get by a show of hand that everybody is able to hear me? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Prashantha says that my assignment 4 on my UNISA shows file to all the rules. What do I need to do for please email Ayesha Abdul, the module coordinator, about that, and just ask her to check for you if on our side it is indeed corrupted, or it's only from your side because you tried viewing it before we could release it, right? So just send an email to the module coordinator, and then she'll be able to assist you with that. Okay. Thank you, Govinda. You can lower your hand. I suspect that's a historical hand. So, the Department of Communication Science, we have a formatting guidelines that you need to adhere to precisely. So you need to consult your tutorial tab 301, as I have said to you. The technical presentation criteria applicable to assignment 5 are as follows. That is all written down for you. Can you kindly just follow that as it is? And I assure you, if you go and read all the instructions that I set for each and every assignment and you follow them to the core, you will get more than a distinction, right? You will get more. So let me help you so that you can help yourselves. Go there, read all the instructions that I set for you and understand them and follow them. So the declaration, there needs to be a declaration. We've already spoken about that. The table of contents equals to 4. Declaration doesn't have a mark. That is the, I don't know, that's the unfortunate part of it. But if you miss it, then it's a 0. If you have it, then you will get the mark that you deserve for the assignment that you have produced, right? So the table of contents, 8 out of 4, the overall introduction, right? This should just be a short description of business communication, CBC 1501, and should end with a clear reference to what we'll be discussing in the assignment. So you give us an idea of what the assignment is about. What is it that you're going to be talking about, right? Without answering the assignment questions. That is your overall introduction, right? And it should be written in a formal tone. It should not be longer than 1 paragraph. And you get a 3. See how easy the marks come if you follow the instructions. Overall conclusion. Overall conclusion, it is a short summary. Also should not exceed a paragraph. It is a short summary just that you give us about what you have discussed in the body of your assignment. In the conclusion, you do not, and I repeat, you do not introduce any new idea that was not dealt with in the body and that was not initially introduced in the introduction, right? 3 marks. Total technical presentation gives you 10 free marks. See how easy it is to get 10 marks. Good. So this assessment is compulsory and contributes towards your semester mark, right? Question 1, abridged report. What is an abridged report? So an abridged report is just a summary version of an issuer's audited annual financial statement. That is a compulsory report that needs to be published at the same time that the annual financial statements are distributed, right? So you are given a scenario. The scenario basically says that the Executive Dean of the University of London, Professor Stanford Whitening, to the Department of Intercultural Business Licensee and Function. Several international guests have also been invited, such as, and then there's a list of them. So now, so the professors didn't understand why these guests would be invited to a standard year-end function, right? The above mentioned guests. He was also quite perplexed by the total cost of the event. Remember, I said a brief report. It is all about the financial statement, annual audited annual financial statement, right? So the professor felt that the goal of the department and his colleagues was to promote ethical, feasible, and sustainable global business leadership. However, the function that they held, it portrayed the opposite ideals, right? So he therefore decided to write a formal report to the president of the university. Then you have your instructions. Instructions says that you need to prepare a formal abridged report. I've already explained what an abridged report is. This report, you will present it to the president of the University of London, right, in the next board meeting. This meeting, it is where the annual financial statements will be given to everybody, right? So that is when you will give this abridged report. So you need to provide an appropriate introduction. Introduce what is it that you're going to be saying in the report. What is the report about, right? So the most important, the report, remember the report, it was based on the meeting or the event that took place where there were delegates of high importance, which it was not even necessary for them to be invited, right? Meaning that a lot of money was used that was out of the budget, right? So you introduce that. After appropriate introduction and suitable findings, what is it that you found in that event? What is it that you saw? You saw the misuse of money. You saw how delegates that were invited were of high profile and it was not even necessary for them to be invited, right? Those are your findings. The conclusion to all of this. And then the most important part of an abridged report is the recommendations in your report. What is it that you recommend should be done? The next event that is to take place, how can we make sure that the same issues that you have provided do not arise again in the event or in the abridged report or the annual financial statements, right? those are the recommendations that you need to be writing. Outlining what you have witnessed at the event, word for word. You're going to now paint a picture for them to agree that indeed money was wasted. This is just wasteful expenditure. You understand? So you're going to be doing that. So you may include the positive and the negative issues in the abridged report. So now this is what you need to do. When you provide your findings, it has to be 4 findings, right? You have to have 4 conclusions to the findings, 4 recommendations to your findings. That is how the abridged report should go. So you present your answer as follows. You have your introduction, right? You introduce what the letter is about. You also introduce the event that was held, right? The findings, what is it that you found in that event that is not so pleasing to you? And what is it that you also found that was pleasing? Probably you loved how the program ran throughout. And then that is a positive thing. You can write that down as well. Maybe have 2 negatives, have 2 positives. If you have more negatives that you would like to concentrate on, put 4 negatives, leave the positives, or you can just balance, right? And then you go on and then you get your findings. You write your findings down. After your findings, the conclusion and the recommendations, right? Please mute yourself. Thank you so much. So apart from the following instructions, you also should also demonstrate your ability to reason and reach logical conclusions and feasible solutions to the issues noted. Feasible solutions are your recommendations, right? So this is the mark allocation for question 1, which is the abridged report. The format and the layout. First level numbering, second level numbering, alignment, etc. I've told you about first level numbering, the headings. The second I've told you, the third I've also told you. All your format and layout will give you 8 marks. We've got grammar and language, the logical flow, the sentence construction, the correct usage of punctuation, the tone, the formal tone that you use, which is 5. The content. Content is going to be that your introduction, your findings, conclusion, recommendation, and logical links. How are they linking? Are your findings linking to your conclusions and your recommendations, right? So, example, you can't find a finding, and then when you write your recommendation, there is no recommendation that will fix one of the findings that you have. Everything should be logically linked for you to get 5 marks, right? And then you get 35 marks. Question 2, outline of a talk, which is out of 25. Use Monroe's motivated sequence to drop an outline of a talk motivating your colleagues at an accounting firm to adopt a healthier lifestyle. Present your answer as follows, right? Purpose of the talk: attention, need, satisfaction, visualization, and action. You need to supply a maximum of 3 sentences for each items in the numbered list. For your attention, only 3 sentences, need 3 sentences, satisfaction 3 sentences, etc., etc. All right. So you will also be graded on the correct use of spelling and grammar, as well as the format and layout. So question 2, this is the rubric. Remember, I have always stated, and I will state again, that your rubric, it is there to guide you on how you answer the questions that are being asked, right? Format and layout, title, purpose, heading, numbering, alignment. Alignment, it is very important, as I have mentioned. So you'll get 5. Your grammar and language, we've spoken about that, it's 5. The content, attention, 3 marks, need 3 marks, satisfaction, visualization, action, those are the marks. Total equals to 25. Any sort of penalization that happens, the maximum mark that can be deducted is only 2, not above 2, right? Once you're done with that, this is a very short assignment, right? Once you're done with that, you need to do your self-assessment and reflection questions, which is only 5 marks, right? The format and the layout as well, it's 1 mark. The grammar in the language is also 1 mark. Content reflecting on the learning outcome at 3 mark. Where do we get the 1 mark from for the format and layout? Questions are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your self-assessment and self-reflection questions. When you answer them, you write number 1 and then you answer it. That is your alignment, right? That falls under format and the layout. So that is the rest of your assignment 5. That is your assignment 5 that we might be resubmitting. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Kyle. I was going to talk about that. Let me just quickly go up, right? Okay, I did answer that. Why are we doing this class now when the assignment is already true? Stanley, so if you were listening is a skill. I have said at the beginning of the class that the assignment is only due on Friday. It was supposed to due yesterday. It will be now it's due on Friday. And we are doing this class because this very same assignment is the assignment that you're also going to be submitting for assignment 7. Of course, after we have sent you feedback, you go and redo the assignment, meaning that if you got 60% this time around, for assignment 7, you're going to be getting 95%. Thank you very much. Assignment has been extended to Friday. Thank you so much, Lamani. Thank you so much, Butle, for that. Okay, Carl says Aisha has mentioned that, yes, Carl, this assignment, you're going to be resubmitting it for assignment 7. Why are we doing that? We want you to work on your, what is it? We want you to work on your mark to improve your mark. That is why this assignment 5 is also going to be your assignment 7. So basically what's going to happen is that once you get your assignment 5 mark, you go through your assignment, right? You go through the marks that you achieved, you go through the comments. If you do not understand the comments that are being given to you, please, I beg you, listen clearly. If you do not understand the mark that you're given, you do not understand the comments that were made, even though we try our level best to make thorough comments, you need to talk to us as soon as possible so that you can start on your assignment 7 and improve where it needs to be improved so that your mark can be improved, right? May I ask you to answer the self-assessment question with what's written on the, or do we use? No. The self-assessment questions, remember, they are there in your tutorial letter 101. So you answer it based on the assignment that you're doing now, in your own words, right? Should the subheadings of the report be in capital or lower? Subheadings, remember the heading, right? Erasmus, remember the heading is going to be in bold, in capital letters. Subheadings, which is second level heading, it should be in lowercase in bold. Is that okay? Is that okay, Erasmus? Is assignment 7 still going to be a substitute? Okay, Stephen, so I think I answered to. Okay, Erasmus, thank you so much. I think I answered everybody. Let's see. Okay, Boo Boo. Okay, I'm going to take Boo Boo and then we're going to take Jacobs. It's 1:30. My recording is not going to be exceeded. So I will just need to, okay, Bongiwe. Bongo, you can unmute yourself and then come in. So long, okay. Ma'am, let's say one got 90% on assignment, maybe in assignment 5. Are they still supposed to submit? Yes, Senzekile, you are supposed to submit all the assignments to improve your mark, okay? Don't just leave it like that. If you got a 90%, obviously it means that the 10% that you did not get, there was somewhere that was lacking, and we will tell you. Probably you missed the 10% because of the technical presentation. We will tell you, and then you will work on that, and hey, who knows, you'll get 100%, right? Okay. I think we've got Bongiwe. You can come through. Bongiwe, please come through. Guys, I need to leave this class. I've got another class, right? Remember, I was here
Okay, you have
from
Boo
12.
here. Can I ask?
Yes, Boo Boo.
Okay, hi everyone. I just want to find out because of the assignment I hear now is due Friday, but I've already submitted yesterday, so I can't edit it and fix where I wanted to fix.
No, my love, you can't, because from the instructions that were given is that you can only submit, it only allows submission for like one-time submission, so you can't resubmit.
Oh, okay. One last more question. I want to find out because I think we did see that notification where it was saying the assignment will be now due on the 28th. But now, why doesn't it change there on the actual module to show the 28th?
Why does it do what?
Why doesn't it change? Because it was still showing the 25th.
I think it's still showing because Moodle has its own moves. So probably it took time to update. But what I know is that the minute you get onto the assignment site, you will still be able to submit, my dear.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, babe.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, Bongi, please come in. Okay, if you don't come in now, Stembi, so please come in. Then I'm going to stop the recording and I'll need to stop my class. Okay, guys, you're not coming in, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think we have come to the end of this class. Thank you so much for coming in numbers. Let me just see again. I unmuted your mic, so I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Okay, let me try again. Yes, please go on. Bongiwe, please go on. Your mic is unmuted.
Hello everyone.
Stembiso, please wait. Bongiwe.
Yes, hi ma'am. Thank you for taking me. My question is with regards to the numbering. So on the assignment, right, there's a numbering sequence that we need to follow. So what I wanted to know is there's a heading and a subheading, particularly on the abridged report. Do I need to, when I list my findings, to say number 1, findings, and then I list the 3 findings, and then I say number 2, conclusion, and then I list my conclusions, and then number 3, recommendations? Or do I just need to number only my, like, the 3 sentences?
No, my love, actually what you need to do, right? Thank you so much for that question. I think most people also didn't understand. So what you do is that you're going to be having your number 1
Yes.
findings, right?
Yes.
You use the correct uppercase. So it's going to be uppercase in bold, and then you're going to have 1.1, right?
Okay.
And then 1.1, you will list the first finding, the second finding, so forth. When you get to recommendation as well, it will be 3, and then recommendations, uppercase, bold, and then you have your 3.1, 3.2, just like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well then I'm answered. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, babe. Stembi, so you can come in.
I wanted to know if assignment 7 is still a substitute for assignment 6.
Aisha has not yet made a call about that. The minute she decides on that, I believe that she will put it up under announcements.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, in the absence of any hand, guys, I would really love to end the class. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. I will also post the recording of the class. All the best. Please do submit on time. Enjoy your long weekend and stay safe. See you again next week. I will enjoy my day. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Take care, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bongi.